Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have a chance engagement between some Rebels and some Empire. And yes, I do realise we've had a lot of Empire on the channel recently. We've just had a bit of a running theme for them the last couple of weeks, which is quite fun. I mean, I like the Empire, so it's always good to see them on the board. Again, just want to address the lighting situation on the table. This was the same night as last week's video. We do change the exposure a little bit later in the video. This week, however, recording wise anyway, we did take our lights down and the camera lighting is a lot better. So going forward, that should not be as much of an issue. So do bear with us. This was our first night down at the new employment store, and yeah, we had a few concerns with the lighting. But back to the game, we have on the board myself versus Ben. I'm actually running Rebels, which is not something I do actually quite often, to be honest, but I've got Wedge Antilles in the T65 with Marksmanship, Plasma Torpedoes, R4 Astromech, and the S-Foils. Corran Horn, again, in the T65 with Cluster Missiles, R3 Astromech, and S-Foils. Garven Dreis with Composure, R3 Astromech, and the S-Foils. Kullbee's Sperado with Ion Missiles, R3 Astromech, Contraband Cybernetics, and the S-Foils. And rounding out the list, because I didn't have another cheap T70 to fit in, we've got Arvel Crynyd in the A-Wing with Predator and Elusive. Now, Ben is fielding the Empire this time, and he's had a penchant for the Gauntlet recently. But we do have a Whisper in the Phantom with Fifth Brother and Target Computer, Duchess in the Striker with Outmaneuver and Predator, Echo also in the Phantom with Outmaneuver and Target Computer, and Saxon in the Gauntlet with Outmaneuver, Moff Jerjerrod, ISB Slicer, The Child, Dropseat Bay, and the Swivel Wing config card. So two very different themes of a list there. Loving seeing dual Phantoms on the board. Again, we had 3 players down for X-Wing and all 3 of us brought Phantoms. They're like buses, you don't see them for ages and then they just come along all at once, and I am here for it. As I said, the mission for today is chance engagement. So we're going to see how this goes. We've got the T-70s currently in a mini swarm up the top there, Arvel all on his lonesome down there, but it looks like Ben has decided that the T-65s, are probably the biggest issue on the board, and he is aiming right at them as we speak. Now, these Phantoms are the regular style Phantoms, so not the standard loadout ones that we've seen from the XWA, which I have to say I think are fantastic. But these are your regular Whisper and Echo. So they've got their standard ship abilities. So with Whisper, after you perform an attack that hits, gain 1 evade. And with Echo, when you decloak, you must use the 2 bank template instead of the 2 straight template. That is incredibly interesting, and the amount of positions that Echo can get in because of that is just insane. Anyone that flies the Star Viper will know just how powerful it is to be able to bank your sideways move there. Obviously you can go forward and backwards off of that as well. You can get into so many positions, and obviously with the Phantom and the decloak they can do that forward as well. So just on the quick, without even looking at the forward and back, that's 6 different places that Echo can end up being off the decloak. That actually works out at 18 different positions. There we go, the lighting's picked up. 18 different positions you can get Echo in off of the decloak. Even with Whisper, obviously left, right, forward, you can still tweak that slightly. So there's a lot of maneuverability there. And obviously we've got Duchess as well, who has the ailerons on there. So interesting moves on all of these ships there, including, as we said, the Gauntlet, who can do a 90 or 180 rotate off of a 0-stop move. That can make it quite tricky to sort of figure out exactly where Ben is going to end up. Obviously, the T-65s and Arvel, no crazy move shenanigans on them in that aspect. They're going to be going forward. They could be turning around quickly, but it's just standard dial moves on there. So a lot for me to try and process, to try and figure out where these Phantoms are going to be, where the Gauntlet's going to be, and try and determine who is actually the main threat here. Obviously, Gar Saxon is a huge amount of points, 7 points for Gar Saxon. So taking him out is going to score big, but there's a lot of health to chew through. Phantoms are glass cannons. They've only got 2 evades. You get a weight of dice behind them, force them to spend those evades, and they can go down quite quickly. There we go. Looks like I've decided that whilst the Gauntlet is an appealing target, maybe it's time to see if we can take out those Phantoms. Also, I anticipated the Gauntlet turning in, actually. I didn't expect it to want to try and joust. There we go. Echo doing a big 3 hard turn in there. Lovely inclusion of targeting computer on Echo. Phantoms not having a native target lock. With all of the tech in there, they probably just didn't have enough space to get it in, because it feels. So they've got the cloaking, they've got the shields. Probably didn't have enough space in the cockpit to be able to fit in the targeting computer as standard, which is a massive shame there. But we've got a load of locks going on to Corran Horn there. His 265 gaining the ability after you declare the defender of an attack. If you have a lock on the defender, a friendly ship may transfer their lock token from you to the defender. So a great way of spreading those locks around. Good action efficiency as well. Obviously, whilst there's no enemies there, your other ships can lock Corran, and then when you get closer, take the focus and then start moving those locks onto the other ships. Really quite handy there. And as we can see, Wedge, Garven and Kullbee already have their focuses lined up. Corran has locked Echo at this point, so it looks like Echo is going to be target priority number 1 to start with. Yep, there we go. Wedge going into Echo, so reducing the evade dice down, range 3, so only going to be 2 green dice there for Echo. You may have Outmaneuver, but I have it all the time. Oh, just the 2 in there, but 2 evades. Can't even strip a token there. And me misreading it slightly, but going back, looking at the card, deciding who is going to be the best option to move this over. Probably looking at it, moving over Garven's lock is probably going to be the best option, because Garven has an interesting ability in himself. So after you spend a focus token, you may choose 1 friendly ship at range 1 to 3, and that ship gains 1 focus token. Ooh, 2 hits there. Corran spending his lock. That is the full complement of 3. 2 evades. does Ben spend the evade, or does he just take the damage? He spends the evade, there will be no cloaking from Echo next turn, but he also will just stay up. Looks like he's going to take that. I think the reposition that he gains from the cloak is probably going to be much more to his liking. I think Duchess might be just out of range there. Obviously, one of the big things you've got to remember, if you've got ships that have really interesting system phase or pre-movement shenanigans, that is a bit of a headache that you've got to try and remember to take into account when you're setting your dials. Obviously, looking at Echo's position with that curved decloak, he's got some nice space there. Oh, that is one on Wedge. Echo's got some nice space there to move, but it would, if he was to decloak left, that would put him right in the path of a gas cloud, but he can swing around decloak right. Whisper can also decloak either direction. And the system phase obviously does go in ascending order of initiative as well, so it would be Echo to go first before Whisper. So Kullbee, having a look, see what he's got. Can imagine going into Echo again. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not so good for Ben there. Now, spending the focus, spending the evade to only take one. Echo is now tokenless. Still got Garven to shoot, I believe. Yep, there we go. There's Garven. Oh, one more on Echo. Echo is half-pointed. And obviously, this is the new version of Chance. Well, actually, Chance Engagement already has the half points, but we are doing the new XWA scenario style. So with the extra points that you will score. So on the other scenarios, you'd be getting half points as well. Which I think is, again, I said it last week, I think that's a fantastic change to it. And also, the change to a maximum of 2 points for objectives makes it more like pre-scenario, but still giving you that extra things to do in the game. I like it a lot, but that's half points on Wedge as well as very solid shot there. Oh, for a focus. If only Garven had actually been able to spend his and pass that on to Wedge last turn. Ooh, that's unfortunate from Saxon. The dice are very much giveth and taketh away today. But he does have Outmaneuver, and this looks like it is going into Wedge. Does he spend one of the child's force here? Merciless Pursuit is assigned to Wedge and Corran. Yep, gonna spend that force. See if you can sneak one in on Wedge. Not this time. Probably not worth it, but you know, sometimes you do have to run that risk. But at the end of that, we do have a ship each at range 2 of the center objective, so it is still 3 points apiece. Half points on Echo, half points on Wedge, 1 point each for the central objective. And again, Ben takes the first player this turn, so no decloak shenanigans from Echo. Is Whisper going to go aggressive? No, Whisper is moving to the side. So little bit. Right, here we go. So what's happening here? Saxon actually just spent one of the Moff Jerjerrod charges to allow his ships to do a red boost. And obviously where that's in the system phase, so if we bring that up, so during the system phase you may spend 2 charges. If you do, choose the forward templates. Each friendly ship may form a red boost using that template, and obviously you pick the template you're going to be using for that. So he's gone for the one bang template, so he's doing Echo first because initiative order there, and then decloaking with Whisper. Put Echo in a not a bad spot actually. Depending on what he's got dialed in, he could be a really frustrating blocker there, setting up for a really nice flank attack from Saxon. Now, if it was epic, that would be insane because Saxon could have just run everything over there. But whilst it is a huge ship, it's not classed as a huge ship. But Arvel getting right in the middle there. And there we go. Echo, ooh, bumping into Kullbee. Clearing the stress with the blue maneuver, but then regaining the stress for the focus. And it looks like we were doing a Rebel 1 forward to victory, which means that Kullbee does not clear, but is going to take that red focus. Garven easily clears. The question is, where will Whisper end up? And what action does Garven take? I think Garven should really take the focus. There we go. Because he obviously has the ability to pass it over. Ooh. A little one bank from Whisper. Echo definitely going in, sacrificing itself for a big block. Whisper coming in, really nice position for that range 1 there. Focus, evade, got Fifth Brother on there as well. Fifth Brother allowing to spend that charge to turn a focus to a crit as well. Now Dutch is just deciding, does she trigger ailerons there, because she can elect not to ailerons. And looking like no ailerons move there. I really like that position actually, because if any of those T-70s do jump over Echo, there are plenty of shots there to counteract that. But here is another one forward to victory from Corran. Question is now, does he grab the target lock so that he can pass that over? And also, is Wedge also doing the one forward? So if he is not clearing that. So there we go. Lock from Corran thrown down on Duchess. And Wedge is not clearing. Wedge is going to be bumping into Kullbee. Will Wedge take damage from that? Of course Wedge takes damage from bumping. It wouldn't be one of the games with Ben without bumping ships taking damage. It's almost guaranteed when me and Ben play that if a ship bumps, it is going to take damage. But Wedge is up first. He has a couple of options. I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm the one playing this, but looking at this right now, not remembering who I went for, I would go range 1 into Echo. I think that's probably the play. Got no modifications, do have Marksmanship. It's range 1 into Echo. Hit crit with Marksmanship. And that is a crit through onto Echo. The crit is a fuel leak. What a pointless crit when you have one hull left. Again, so common to see fuel leak come up when it's your last health. But Wedge is in a bit of a tricky position. This could be an easy 3 points here for Ben. He's got 3 chances at it. Question is, does he go for the long range from Duchess? Oh, I think Duchess is actually going into Corran there. Got the lock, so 3 hits. Oh, big hit on Corran. He is half pointed as well, so that's 2 more points for Ben. Oh, these T-65s cannot dodge at all. So 2 clear targets right now for Ben. He could probably range 2 into Wedge. Oh, that's just too good. That is, yeah. That is ship down. It's actually gone for Corran Horn. Corran Horn is down. No. Oh, what's that crit? Because that could be important. Doesn't look like it's not a weapons failure. So, same initiative. Corran is still going to get the chance to shoot and potentially pass a lock off, but Duchess is the target there. There we go, passing the lock off as well. Annoyingly, cluster missiles is not going to do cluster missiles, but completely pointless. Not going to work there because nothing is at range 0 to 1 of Duchess. But let's see what we can do. Got the lock there. Spending the lock. Oh, that's big. Hit, crit, crit. 2 evades, but 1 crit on Duchess. And that is a wounded pilot onto Duchess with an Arvel Crynyd right next door with a lock and a focus, ready to see if he can take out that striker. Ooh, that's not a great shot from Echo there, but that's a worse evade roll. Wedge down to 1. Perfect position for Saxon, who will clearly just go into there to try and clean up. What can Garven and Kullbee do before that point? Okay, so Garven 3 into Duchess. Oh, Duchess is taking 2 there. Now, does Kullbee? Yeah. I mean, Kullbee's got unmodified into Echo with 1, but I think going into Duchess is the right call there. Got the focus. That is guaranteed death for... Well, not quite guaranteed death, but that is death for Duchess. So that is a ship down each side. The points are staying level at 7 all there. I mean, Arvel was there to clean up if needs be on Duchess. So can Saxon take out Wedge? Yes. Yes, he can, is the answer to that. 2 evade dice. Gets 1, but that is Wedge down. That's going to give Ben the lead right there. Big 3 points, taking it 10-7. But what can Arvel do? Can Arvel snipe Echo from distance? That's a big question there. Or will he try and start weakening into Whisper? Oh, that's unfortunate. It looks like it's a range 3. Yeah, range 3 into Echo. Only needs to sneak 1 through. Hit crit. 3 dice though. And there is plenty of paint there. Focus spent. And taking out Duchess, really handy. 2 points for me on the central objective. 9 points to 10 going into turn 4. Not losing Wedge and Corran in 1 turn, that is very painful. But Echo is in a lot of pain. Duchess is gone. Still have 3 ships fully healthy that can do damage. Saxon trying to sneak past, not going to make it there. Still puts himself in a really nice position there though. Whisper obviously decloaked to the left there, giving himself a bit of space to come in, but can Garven and Kullbee get in the way of that is the question. And how do we stick in on Echo? Does Arvel just think that's the target, go all the way in there? Bit of a tricky position for Arvel there, because he's got Echo right, Whisper right behind him. There we go. Obviously, Whisper's still to move, so just increase their range a bit. Maybe could have been better to stay there, but want to chase Echo down as well. If Echo moves off too far, that could be really unfortunate. Getting Kullbee just out of the way. Ooh, 2 bang from Echo. He was still stressed, so he's wanting to clear that. More than likely the evade action. Or could just straight decloak, knowing that already out of the fight there. Can't quite see that behind Echo, but I'm pretty sure that is the evade. Kullbee spending Contraband Cybernetics there. Yeah, spending Contraband Cybernetics, doing the K-turn. Already got the lock on Echo and taking the focus. Where's Garven gonna go? Ooh, Garven trying the talon roll and fitting that talon roll just nicely. Thank you very much. Out of Saxon's arc as well, so Garven will not be being shot there. Kullbee and Arvel might be in a little bit of trouble, but let's see what's this move coming in from. Oh, a bump there. So whilst Arvel didn't cause a bump into Whisper, Kullbee does. The question is, I don't think Ben wants to stress out Whisper, because stressing out Whisper and he decloaks, he does not get his evade token. So Whisper is going into Arvel there, spending Fifth Brother for that crit, getting one evade. Elusive does nothing, saving the focus. So taking that on the shields there. Obviously got a potentially big shot coming from Saxon, and really wanting to save the potential damage output onto Echo there. There we go. So gaining that second evade from scoring a hit. So no shots from Echo, he's facing the wrong way. Garven going straight into Saxon. Oh no, focus token there. That would have been nice, but evaded. I don't have much luck with taking out gauntlets, if I'm honest. Interesting. Kullbee has the shot at range 2 into Saxon, electing to go for Echo, possibly taking away Arvel's shot, but at the same time, it's an iron missile as well. So iron missile going to take away that range 3 bonus. So 3 bits of paint and Echo will be down here. Just waiting for that dice roll. Yeah. Ion missile. Oh, 2 bits of paint. 3 bits of paint. Spend that focus. That is going to be echoed down. Nothing that Ben can do about that. First time in this game, I have taken a lead 11-10. Now time for Saxon to put the hurt in somewhere. Is it going to be at Arvel? Is it going to be at Kullbee? It's going to be at Kullbee. No tokens. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. That is half points on Kullbee there. Down to 2. Oh, huge shot there. Ben retakes the lead. 12 points to 13 going into turn 5. This is where it's going to get really tricky. Ben has a really nice position with Saxon and Whisper in behind. Saxon doing the stop. Whisper did not cloak last turn. Not a great position for her to decloak into, so elected to stay uncloaked. Evade boost from Arvel. He's wanted to stay close to that central objective to score some points there. The central objective has got me a lot of points so far. Bump from Garven. Kind of expected that Saxon was going to stop there. When you've got a ship right there, you may as well stop and bump it. So, but Kullbee deciding that he also wants to have a bit of a go at Saxon. can I finally take down a Gauntlet? Ooh. Whisper bumping into the back there. Oh no, not bumping. Cleared that. Taking the focus. Banking on getting a hit in there on Kullbee to gain that evade ready to decloak next turn possibly. But Whisper into Kullbee. Using Fifth Brother. Wow. The green dice are not liking T65s. That's another X-Wing down. Ben is running away with it here. 12 to 15 in a really good position with two very healthy ships on the board still, making it very difficult for me. What can... That's not bad. That's pretty good. Those evade dice from Ben have been doing pretty good. That Gauntlet is not wanting to go down lightly. I really need Arvel to stay up here. Let's see. Just the one. Got the evade. Just waiting to see if Ben decides he wants to spend the child. Outmaneuver is on, so... And spending the evade. Yeah. So surviving that, 13 points to 16 in Ben's favour. Either of my ships go down, this could be really disastrous. Not out of the game though, here, right now. Can still score some decent points. Decloak forward from Whisper. Arvel going into the centre, keeping hold of that objective. I think guaranteeing that objective is something that is definitely going to keep my chances alive here. Very curious to see where Saxon goes, if he also goes towards the central objective to get a shot on Arvel and also deny 2 points for that objective. Him moving will clear some nice space for Garven though. Wondering where Whisper is going to go, whether she's going to try and candy cane it round. I'd possibly candy cane to the right to see if can catch Garven out there, but we'll have to wait and see. So Garven banking round. Nice line on Whisper there, but Whisper is still to move. Could do the barrel roll. Also, that would be, yeah, so that barrel roll really good. Gets a bit further away from Saxon's rear, so it's not a range one shot out the back. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was an attempt at a 4K turn. Too close to the border. Whisper is just gone. Again, mentioned earlier, decloaking can be a bit awkward sometimes. You might not be able to decloak, or you put yourself in a position where you're a little bit closer to the board edge than you expected. Obviously, a 2 forward decloak plus the 4K turn works out at you moving essentially at speed 7. So, a great way to get across the board quickly. Also a great way to end up off the board. That is huge. Ben here now needs to half point Garven. If Ben can half point Garven, it stays level. double crit, not going to do it. One shield on Garven. That is going to take us 19 to 17. Now, at this time, we actually ran out of time in store. It was getting late. We looked at it, 1 point left in it, 19 to 17. So we did actually call it there. I will say that was a really fun game. Great to see those phantoms on the board. Absolutely love seeing them. But it was... I mean, we played this game at quite a rapid pace. We knew we didn't have much time, and me and Ben were just going straight at it and being incredibly brutal. But brilliant game from Ben. Really enjoyed seeing the Phantoms. Quite enjoy flying the T-65s. Probably would tweak the way I flew them in the future, but it was a really fun game. But guys, that is your game for this week. So thank you all so much for watching. Plenty more action to come with some better lit tables going forward. But in the meantime, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.